Who hit recording? Barbara, you hit recording?
I
Oh, I did.
yeah, somebody
okay.
did it.
No, I just want to make sure where it's being recorded at.
Yeah, we are now, as of now.
Okay. Again, we'll be starting the public hearing section in exactly 1 minute. This is an opportunity for the residents of Community Board 7, members of the public, stakeholders, to share their input on any agenda items that the community board will be discussing, as well as any concerns or any items that they wish Community Board 7 to address. And also Carla put the link in the chat and you can review the motions there and share your input with us. It is 6:45. I will read the code of conduct and hand it over to the chairperson Stronzer. Give me 1 second. So I will start with, give me 1 second, pulling up things on Zoom, it's never fun. Okay, so I'm going to start with guidelines and then get into the code of conduct. On September 2nd, 2021, Governor Kathy Hochul signed into law Chapter 417 of the laws of 2021, which authorizes the community board to run this meeting remotely. Minutes will be taken and recordings moving forward will be kept for record keeping. The minutes and recordings will appear on our website within 2 weeks. While certain portions of the open meeting law are suspended, all other regulations regarding meeting notice, committee quorum, meeting minutes, and video recordings are still in place. Meeting notifications will still be sent via email through our marketing tool. Please check your junk or spam folder as we use a marketing tool. As well, you can check our social media sites, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All outreach platforms will include web links for Zoom video and conference call number. Bronx Community Board 7 will continue to use Zoom, which can easily be downloaded to your desktop, mobile device, or by opening a new browser. We will be posting on YouTube for more accessibility to our residents. Stay tuned for that feature on our website. So if you missed the meeting, you'll be able to see it there. Some quick reminders before you join the meeting or while in the meeting. Audio is necessary if you wish to participate. If using the computer, all background noise will be picked up by the speaker microphone, interrupting the participant's ability to listen or speak. It is recommended that you use earphones. Pre-test your device to ensure it works. Do not forget the meeting is live and your background is visible. When using the computer to join, always allow Zoom to access your microphone and camera in order to be seen or heard. Your participation at our general board, public hearing, and committee meetings is vital to a productive operation in order to achieve excellence in our service throughout the district. I'll share with you some controls while joining. If you're calling with us from a cell phone or a landline. To hear all available commands, press star star. Again, to hear all available commands, press star star. Star 6 to mute or unmute yourself. Star 9 to virtually raise your hand and also lower your hand. Star 6 to mute or mute yourself. Star 9 to virtually raise your hand and lower your hand when you are done with your question. Code of conduct for meetings, penalties, and actions. Bronx Community Board 7 has the right to remove and or ask a member of the public to leave a meeting or block participation of anyone who engages in inappropriate conduct, including but not limited to obscene or offensive images or language, personal attack, threats, or any other behavior that reasonably impedes the orderly administration of the meeting. Repeated offenses will be reviewed by the board's executive committee or any other assigned committee for a ban. The amount of time to objectively be determined by the above committees of the participants in the event of repeated disruptive behavior. If in-person outbursts or attacks continue, they will be considered disturbing of the peace and authority shall be summoned. At this time, I hand it over to our chairperson.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Barbara Stronzer, and I'm interim chairperson for Community Board 7. The public hearing is beginning. We will allow participants a maximum of 1 minute for their statement. We will start with referring to the two motions that will be before the board a little later on in the evening. The purpose of bringing it up now is to give the community input so that if they have any comments about either of the motions, they can state those comments right now. Andrew, do you want to read your motion first from the Budget, Personnel, and Ethics Committee?
Okay. We have to do two separate motions for the two names.
Fine. Go ahead.
Motion to notify board member Michelle Gonzalez that a review of the attendance records indicate that they are in violation of the attendance requirements of Bronx Community Board 7 in Article 3, Section 4 of the bylaws.
All right, thank you. Do we have any questions for Andrew relating to that motion?
And this is the time that the public can engage and ask questions. Please raise your hand.
Anybody? All right,
There's a question on the floor, Ms. Chair.
okay, go ahead.
AJ?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All board members, including chairs and staff, found to be in non-compliance with the bylaws and charter as detailed in the comptroller's audit and bylaws should be fired and removed ASAP. Public servants need to serve the public they work for, especially if they volunteer for the position. Transparency and accountability are key to a democracy, so act upon these findings and broken laws. Don't help cover them up or attempt to censor the public seeking answers from those who serve it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, Andrew, can you read the second motion that you have from your committee?
Madam Chair, I would emphasize on the fact that we're asking for input specifically on these motions.
Yes, definitely. Andrew?
So if there are no further questions, we have to vote, have it seconded and vote on this motion?
No, we're doing that.
No,
later.
no, this is a public
session.
hearing.
Please
Andrew, you
read,
can read the other motion.
yeah, read the other motion that you have. Andrew?
You want me to repeat the motion?
The
You have
second
a
one.
second motion, you said. Please read it.
Okay. Motion to notify the, hold on, sorry. I have to get the
Okay,
name.
take your time.
Motion to notify board member Jamar Quintana that a review of the attendance records indicates that they are in violation of the attendance requirements of Bronx Community Board 7 and Article 3, Section 4 of the bylaws.
All right, do we have any questions or comments from the public on this second motion? Sirio?
Yes, good evening. Are we supposed to know what the violations are? When you say the attendance and requirements?
Andrew?
I mean, they're in the bylaws. Do you want me to read the actual language? Yeah, let me just read it. It's simple enough.
Okay.
The board shall not remove a board member by reason of absences without first notify the board member in writing via first-class mail, certified and return receipt requested. By the way, under COVID, we can now do it by email. That's according to the directions that we got from the state. To the address on record that an explanation writing is requested to be delivered to the board within 20 days of the date of notice. On receipt, well, you want to know why, so hold on. An appointed member may be removed for cause by the borough president or by a majority of the appointed members of the board Pause shall include absences from 3 consecutive committee meetings,
Okay.
general board meetings, or a combination of consecutive committee and general board meetings totaling 3.
Thank you. That explained it. Thank you.
All right, any other questions for Andrew? Thank you, Andrew. We'll move on to the second motion that we will vote on later in the evening. Go ahead. Eric, are you on?
Barbara, are you,
I'll read
do you
it.
know who is Sandra on? She's his co-chair.
Oh, right. Sandra, can you read the motion for us?
Wait, I'm letting Eric into the room now.
Oh, okay.
Let's give him a minute to. Eric, can you hear us? Eric? Eric, Sandra?
Hi, I'm on, but I'm not able to read the motion now. I'm not prepared.
Okay.
Eric? Barbara, you could read the motion. You're on the committee. I guess it's fine.
Okay.
Can you not hear me?
I hear you now. Is that you,
Uh,
Eric?
Yes.
Can you read your, we're in the public session. Can you read your motion in case the public has any comments about the motion, please?
Okay, sure. The motion is for Bronx Community Board 7 to support the variance for the Saturday permit from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 2520 Jerome Avenue, St. James Terrace project.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any comments or questions regarding the second motion?
Barbara, AJ has a question.
Yes, AJ, go ahead. Please keep your comments related to the motion.
Yes, ma'am. The other one was about the bylaws, but okay. The rec center at St. James Park has been closed for so long now due to the flooding that even the Parks Department has started to remove staff and programming from it. Now that the summer is starting and the kids are getting out of school with nothing to do since the recreational center is closed, and with the increase in gun violence, drugs, crimes, and fires in the district, you now want to wake them up at 9 a.m. on Saturdays with construction noises? The now empty park will help amplify and carry these sounds around, plus the other quality of life issues that this rush of construction can bring pose numerous dangers to our neighbors and kids who plan to use the park post-pandemic. So please vote no. Don't disturb our peace or quality of life for a project that's still a year plus away, just so some developer can save money by reducing the schedule for 2 months.
Okay. Thank you, AJ, for your comments. Anybody else care to make a comment about that motion? Okay, we will be voting on it later. All right, we will move the public session to reports by elected officials, their reps, agencies, and the general public. Aisha, do you have a list?
Yeah, Serial had a question.
Oh, sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
see that, Sirio. Go ahead, Sirio.
Thank you so much. I was at that meeting about the variance, and what I understood, now I may have the information wrong, is that they don't stay to past 4 o'clock on a Saturday anyway. And I don't see why that the community has to have them start before the 10 o'clock permit, being that the city and the community fought to get that law put into effect, that 10 o'clock is the okay time to start for construction on a Saturday. And I feel that we should not support them because they had said at the meeting that they get to leave at 4 anyway. So they have the 2 hours in their time allowed. They should stay until the end of the day and not leave early, and then, but they want to start early. And that's how I feel. And there's also not too many people at this meeting who live over there to voice their concerns. So, and thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anybody else? Sarah, did you have your hand up?
No, sorry.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll move on then to,
Yep. Oh, yep, to the elected official.
yes,
Yep.
go ahead,
Do you have
Aisha.
any elected officials on the call? Not staff, elected officials? Carla, did you see any join?
I'm here. This is Leon representing Assembly Member Udoka Tapia.
Yeah, no, we saw that. This is for
Okay.
actual electeds, if there are anybody on the call.
Excuse
We'll
me,
get
sorry.
to the member staff now. All right, so I'll start. Is anyone here from the mayor's office? I believe we have a new Bronx Borough Director. Lena, are you with us?
Yes, hi, good evening. I am with you all. Can you see me in the camera?
Yes, we can.
yes.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Alina Dow. I am the newly appointed Bronx Borough Director for Community Board 7 through 12. Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you. I am also a resident of Community Board 7, so you guys are dearly passionate to me.
Good.
I just wanted to extend, let you guys know who I am, introduce myself. Please feel free. I'm going to leave my information in the contact. I'm not sure if everyone knows what my role is. I will let you guys know briefly. I am your community liaisons between you and the mayor's office. So I am available for everyone. If there's anything that you feel hasn't been able to be tackled, or there's issues that are just of grave concern, you can feel free to contact me. Thank you all.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alina. Please put your information in the chat so folks can contact you. And again, welcome. Anyone here from the controller's office, Brad Lander's office? Anyone here from the public advocate's office, Jamani Williams? Anyone here from the Bronx Borough President, Vanessa Gibson's office? Ishmael, you on?
Hey, Aisha, it's Ish Gonzalez from the Bronx Borough President's Office. I just have only one announcement for you guys. The Borough President's inauguration is taking place this upcoming Sunday. And for anyone that is interested in RSVPing or attending, well, I said it backwards. Anyone that's interested in attending, please know you do have to RSVP. I'll put my number and my email address in the chat. So you can reach out to me and I'll put you in contact with the correct person. And that's all I have for you guys today.
Okay. Thank you.
Here, Ish. I did see someone here from District Attorney Darcel Clark. I know Erica's not with us. Anyone here from the DA's office?
Hello,
I saw
hello.
that.
Can you hear me okay?
Hi, Eric. Welcome. Yes.
How's everybody doing this evening?
Wow, thank you.
Good to hear, good to hear. As you may know, this is my first meeting here, so I'm just like to introduce myself. I, along with my colleague Erica Diaz, are both from the Bronx District Attorney's Office in the Community Affairs Unit. And so I only technically have one thing to announce today. I don't know if Erica has already shared it, but the 5th annual Bronx Child Safety Fair is coming up. It'll be Saturday, April 30th at PS5, Port Morris School. The address is 564 Jackson Avenue, Bronx, New York, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. for children 3 to 13 years old. So there'll be things there about internet safety, body safety, bully prevention, and many more things, including NYPD, FDNY, and things like that. So I don't know if Erica had already shared the flyer with you. If not, I can do that myself. And if anybody has any other questions or comments, I'll be here for the whole meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Feel free to drop it in the chat. We've
No
been
problem.
joined by Councilmember Eric Dinowitz.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. You know, in a public, non-virtual meeting, I used to ask, how you all doing? But you're all muted. So even if you answered, I would.
We're doing well.
Good. Well, first of all, I just want to say hello. You know, my office is open. Obviously, you all know I've been coming to these meetings for many months, and of course, always call my office if you need anything. A few quick updates. First, we're hosting a Rat Academy training session tomorrow, Wednesday. That's going to be from 5:30, starting at 5:30. It's not too late to register, and we're going to raffle out 10 rodent-proof garbage bins. You can register at ericdinowitz.nyc/Rat Academy. We'll put that link in the chat. It's going to be ericdinowitz.nyc/Rat Academy for our virtual Rat Academy training session. Many of you know I was a public school teacher, so I made sure I got a spot on the education committee. Yesterday we held our education committee budget hearing. We spoke about literacy needs for students, ensuring that all are reading at grade level, including our high school students and students with special needs, who are so often forgotten because many people figure, oh, by the time you get to high school, you can read. It's not the case. So many of our high schoolers and middle schoolers need a lot more help. So I brought that up, and support for our English language learners. Nutrition services came up, funding the student meals program. You know, I brought up especially the number of seats in student schools. So I asked the SCA about the work they do, or in this case, don't do with developers when they're proposing a development, especially when it undergoes ULURP, to make sure that as our development increases in the neighborhood, that our students, the student seats increase as well. So those are things that I brought up at the education committee meeting yesterday. I'm certainly going to be following up with the Department of Education meeting, Department of Education, about number of seats in our schools and the diversity of programming, whether it be social emotional learning, outdoor education, or reading in the older grades. Today was a very busy day. It started out, we had a press conference with the Playfair Coalition, asking the mayor to fund our parks at 1%. I did see someone with a sign for the Friends of Mosholu Parkland. Saw some local people there at that press conference. And what I spoke about was the parks are for everyone. You know, me as a new dad, I was bringing my kids there. So many of us during the pandemic, that was the only place we could go. So we're asking to fund our parks. That means the cleanup services, it means PEP officers, it means the infrastructure to update our parks, it means programming at our parks. Regarding funding, we are going through our budget process. I am looking to fund more things like movie nights and skate events. Last year, Councilmember Gibson and I, now Borough President Gibson, and I held a skate party in Williamsbridge Oval, and we're looking to do fun events like that. But after that press conference, I'm on the budget negotiating team in the City Council, and we had, I think it was our third meeting on that team. And I'm one of a handful of members who's going to be really getting into the details of the budget. And so I continue to ask, if you have priorities, if you have budget concerns, whether it's very, very local or citywide example being parks being funded,
Yes.
a local example being, hey, Mosholu Parkland, or, you know, the playground on Bay Bridge, whatever it is that needs to be funded, reach out to me, email my office, make sure that I know about it. Enzo from my office just put the link in the chat. You can fill out that form. I appreciate everyone putting stuff in the chat. The truth is, we don't keep a copy of the chat, but we keep a copy of the Google form. So I do encourage you to fill that out. And the other thing about the Google form is it allows me to know in which area you live. So you just give us your zip code and your name, and you can put other comments. And that lets me know, oh, yep, everyone in 10468 wants, you know, parks, education, mental health, whatever it is, you put it in. Then today, after that, I chaired the Committee on Higher Education, and this was my second hearing. It was the budget hearing. And so we spoke about fully funding CUNY for full-time staff, for lowering tuition costs, but especially investing in services and programs that we know work for our students and for all age groups. What do I mean by that? So there are programs like CUNY Tutor Corps. CUNY Tutor Corps is a program that costs money, where CUNY students go into high schools and go into middle schools and tutor students and give them direct instruction. And it's one of the incredible things about CUNY and what it is and also can be if we expand it is we are teaching our CUNY students about the skills they need to be tutors, to be teachers, but also providing a vital service for high school students and middle school students who really need it. Because we've spoken about remediation programs, which do need investment, but I would prefer if students didn't need remediation to begin with. And that looks like making sure kids at a younger age get that support and get those services, which is why I also spoke about with them investing in incentivizing students and speaking about workforce development to enter programs that lend itself to early intervention, social work, special instructors, careers where they can provide vital services to our youngest and most vulnerable children, ages 0 to 3. The Bronx is, I think, something like only 61% of families who apply for early intervention services get it by the legal 30-day mandate. There just aren't enough providers, especially here in the Bronx. So those are some of the funding things that I'm looking at. There's a whole host of other things. I encourage you to check out the hearing. It was only 3 hours long. So, you can watch Casablanca or my hearing, go with my hearing. But speaking of hearings, I sit on 8 committees, of course, including higher education, which I chair, and I encourage all of you to fill out my committee hearing intake form. So this will allow you to share with me your ideas or concerns which are related to any of the committees I sit on. My lens is you. My lens is the concerns of my constituents. I like to bring those directly to the hearings, directly to the leadership of the agencies. So go to ericdinowitz.nyc/council hearing if you'd like to fill out my intake form. It's different than testifying. If you'd like to testify, that's a different website. This is for me to hear your direct concerns about the upcoming hearings. COVID-19, can't forget the virus is still real. It's still around us. I think we're seeing an uptick in this new variant. We don't know what's going to happen next. But if anyone would like to pick up a testing kit from our office, just give us a call. You can reserve a kit. Give us a call. We still have a handful left, but call our office at 718-549-7300. Lastly, we've had several events. We have several events in the upcoming months, including movie nights. Got a helmet giveaway in Williamsburg Oval. Please subscribe to my newsletter so you can know when we're having community events. You could stay up to date with the legislation that I'm working on, and really any other goings on of the community. ericdinowitz.nyc/newsletter. It's ericdinowitz.nyc/newsletter. Of course, on social media, we'll be posting everything as well. That's Twitter, Facebook, on Instagram. Not yet on TikTok. I think I may be past the age that I'm allowed to be on TikTok even. I think I'm not cool enough or something. I don't know. But I'm on those other platforms. So I encourage you all to follow me, to stay up to date with all the information, and to reach out directly to my office if there's any concern you have, any need you have, or any opinion you have. That's my report. I don't know if we had time for questions, if anyone even had questions, but I'm happy to take any.
Okay.
Eric, I do want to touch on development, and you mentioned more seats in the district, right? We all know that there's a report that SCA has out that at least within the zip codes within Community Board 7, we're out of 2,000 seats, right? So you mentioned there's been a tremendous increase in development, and that's very clear. One thing that I would suggest is that developers that are getting government subsidies to provide some sort of guesstimate of potential families that, based on previous developments, that could be coming in, and that could be a way where SCA gets at least a sense of numbers, because I don't think there's really a conversation between developers, DOB, HPD, and SCA.
I do not feel as though there is a conversation. The SCA, how to put this, they say that whenever there's ULURP, they consult with the HPD and DOB and the developer, and typically here's what they say, right? I don't want to defend them. They say, well, an individual development may not trigger a new seat requirement, but there's 2 problems with that. One is I actually want development that has more 2 and 3 bedroom apartments and housing, because we want the opportunity for more families to come into our wonderful neighborhood. So on the one hand, I am encouraging that type of development if development's going up. The problem is, this one development is not going to trigger something. That one development is not going to trigger something. But in the aggregate, altogether, of course, we're going to have a net increase in seat need. I think we're like 11th worst. District 10, at least, school district 10 is like 11th worst in terms of seat overcrowding. I think it's like the most overcrowded in the Bronx. If it's not first, it's second. I was just looking at the data the other day. But I have begun having those conversations with SCA, because I agree with you. I do not think that those conversations are robust, and they certainly do not engage with the community board, which is something that I did specifically bring up at this hearing, because there's one ULURP that's going through a different community board, and there's one big as of right development going through, and neither of those things are on the radar of the SCA in any real way. So Aisha, I agree with you. And those conversations do need to happen because they're important. Our schools are overcrowded, and our children deserve better. Our families deserve better.
Thank you. Sirio, you have a question?
Yes, how you doing this evening, everybody? How you doing this? Councilman, you inherit a problem from Cohen's office. The pool at Dewood Clinton campus was promised to me before COVID to be repaired. And my sons have been in there for 4 years. They're graduating, and not once have they been able to.
What should you cancel?
So the thing is, the pool at Dewood Clinton campus, it has not been repaired, and that's a shame because Parks wants to hire lifeguards, and all the 4 high schools in there are not allowed to go swimming in the building. Let alone the swimming team has to go to Vanderchild to do their trials, and that's not fair. That pool has been there. I swam in that pool. My father swam in that pool. My brother swam in that pool. And it's not fair that that pool is not being utilized. It should also be open to the public in the summer. I wish you can do something to get it back and up and running. Thank you for your time.
Sarah, thank you. I can't say that I or my father swam in that pool, but I could say my high school swim team swam in that pool. The issue of swimming pool is actually, unfortunately, not unique to Clinton, because this also did come up at the hearing. But I can reach out this week to see any status update about that pool, because that's available. I talk about it all the time. Most of the work and the learning and the experiences our kids have happen outside the classroom, outside the confines of a desk and a number 2 pencil. And a swimming pool is an example of one of those facilities that our children deserve. It is Clinton, but also I know Bronx Science at least used to use that pool, and I'm sure there are other groups. And your kids or the kids at Clinton shouldn't have to go to Vanderchild. So to do something where they have the facility there.
Councilman, we have one more question, and everyone else I'm going to refer to go to the chat and find the council members' information. If that could be posted again, you can follow up with his office or as well with our office, and we'd be happy to liaise. Jean?
No, I quickly wanted to say I have to co-sign with Sirio. I learned to swim in that pool as an adult, and it was the neighborhood pool. It was affordable for the people in the neighborhood. They used to run 2 programs. They would have in the summertime, they would have a summer program for the young adults. And then in the evenings, they would have a program for the adults to come and learn how to swim. So the fact that this pool has been let to run down like it has, and we've been asking for years to have it refurbished and brought back up to date, and to use it as a community pool, because that's probably the nearest pool in the surroundings that's affordable to the neighborhood people. So whatever you can do to have that pool put back into operation and have the work done on it, it just benefits the whole community.
I
Thank you.
agree. And you're speaking about something else that's really important, that our schools are about more than just the students they serve. It's about the entire community. And I think your example speaks to that. So as I mentioned, I'm certainly going to be reaching out to SCA to follow up on this. I know that's it for questions, but I do want to let you know, Enzo from my staff, his name is Lorenzo Manzano. We all call him Enzo. He's here. He's in the chat. He's the one who's been posting all the different websites about the newsletter, about the RAD Academy, about the budget intake and the hearing intake form. So certainly, again, my office information is in the chat. Always feel free to reach out to my office, but I'll certainly take the concerns about the swimming pool to the SCA. And I thank you all. Thank you, Aisha, and thank you everyone for your time.
Thank you, Councilmember Lorenzo. Just put his information in the chat. Any other questions or existing questions, please share them with Lorenzo, or you could reach out to our offices. We have another council member that has joined us today, Councilmember Pirina Sanchez. Ferima, is you still with us? No.
She should be. Let me just double check.
I don't see her up.
I think she stepped away from her desk. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So we'll move on to the NYPD and then we'll just come back. Let me know when she's on. All right, move on to Community Affairs Officer Jaredia from the 52nd Precinct.
Hey, Aisha. So as far as the index crimes, we're up 44% in index crimes. It's very high. It's concerning. It's a Bronx problem, but we are having outside resources coming in the hours of where the crimes are occurring. So there's more coverage in the 52nd Precinct in those areas. Another thing that we have just recently started up is our neighborhood safety teams, which will also be introduced to the community at the next council meeting, which was postponed from this week till next week. Lucky for us, we have an extra Thursday in this month, so we're going to push it to next Thursday because there's other things going on this Thursday. It's going to be a Zoom. I'll put the information in the chat. And other than that, if anybody has any questions for me, I'm here. And I'll put my information also in the chat as well if you don't get a chance to speak to me today.
Can you quickly share with us what the new program is very quickly, please? So folks can know what the difference is between that and the NCOs?
All right, so yeah, so your NCOs are still going to remain your main contact. If you have any issues, regardless of how little it is or how serious it is, you're still going to reach out to your NCOs because your NCOs are going to put the information to the necessary unit. Our neighborhood safety teams are more focused on gun violence. So wherever we see the gun violence, let's say we have a shooting in a certain part of the precinct and we believe it to be gang related, we're going to put that safety team in that area to stop the retaliation of violence that might occur. But we're also focusing on the areas that see the most violence with the safety teams. So the safety teams will be visible. They won't be as available as your NCO or your community affairs officer would be, but the information that you do share with your NCO or community affairs will be given to the safety team if it involves gun violence or anything that's of a violent nature. That's pretty much what it is.
Okay. I see 3 questions. Those are the 3 questions we're going to take. Police officer, do you mind putting your contact in the chat so anyone has follow-up questions, they either attend the precinct council meeting or contact you directly? We'll start with Andrew.
My question is, are you referring to Mayor Adams' new anti-gun unit?
Yes.
And if
yes.
not, will the 5-2 get, and when will they get the new anti-gun unit? That's all over the news, making 31 arrests in a couple days and taking guns off the street.
So yes, it's in regards to the anti-gun unit. It's actually called the neighborhood safety team. It replaced the old crime team of the past, which had many issues. The only difference is that these officers were selected. They were vetted. They were made sure they're highly trained. They had additional trainings on how to deal with the community and make sure that the things that were wrong in the past don't happen again. They're wearing uniforms that are highly visible, that you cannot mistake in them to be anybody else but police officers. And as of right now, we have one safety team. But as we go throughout the year, I see more safety teams coming into play. But as of right now, it's just one safety team that will be doing, focusing on the gun violence that you speak of, the mayor's office is trying to combat.
All right.
Next, we have Jean Hill. And then
Hi.
Lowell, and that's it.
Hi, this is a quick question and maybe you could give me directions on it. So one of the local businesses, actually it's a business on Kingsbridge, which still falls in the 52nd precinct area. So they've been having a lot of issues with homeless people and also drug addicts. And one of the homeless people comes into their business and uses the bathroom to use the drugs and what have you. So I know the police department has their hands full with all of the shootings and what have you. I thought of maybe Bronx Works, but I don't know if that's the right direction to point them to. So what would you suggest that they might be able to do to sort of combat this problem? Right now, it's not as bad as it will be as the weather gets warmer. So who might be able to help?
So, as you know, dealing with the homeless is has been an issue with the NYPD. We've been asked to help, and then we've been not asked not to help, and then we're not to help again. So it's back and forth. Obviously, if this person is the same person that's coming in and out, you can give them my information. I can go over there and maybe speak to this person and refer them to the Department of Homeless Services, or even other agencies that they could use those services. Really, if they don't want people using the bathroom, maybe they have to close it down. Don't allow them to give them that service. I mean, if they don't want them in the store, they can definitely call us and we'll remove them from the store. It's private property.
It's not really a store. It's really a dental office, to be honest. And they're mostly women that's in the business. So when this person shows up, they're at a disadvantage because they don't feel comfortable trying to challenge him because they don't want to get hurt. So, they know that the police is busy. So I'm just trying to think what agency could be, on call.
So Jean, I can actually help you with that, but I think the best approach here also is to include the NCOs from Sector A, because you said this is Kingsbridge, correct?
Yeah, Kingsbridge. That's not Sector D?
No, Kingsbridge is Sector A.
Sector A, okay.
Yeah, Sector A. But Jean, if feel free to share my contact information. I can at least initiate the conversation with the stakeholders.
Okay.
That's what we've been doing at our community boards. I've been liaising in situations like this where we have a very vulnerable population that does need services while trying to protect the quality of life of our businesses. So we'd be more than happy to assist with that.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Aisha.
No problem, Lowell.
Just as the weather is getting nicer, and I am sure you're going to get via 311 or sometimes maybe 911 issues of music and loud noises going on, all starting at like 10 o'clock till at least 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning. And I'm just alerting you, and maybe you could start speaking to all the police precinct people in your position, and maybe you could have a joint effort, because a lot of these places where they play the music are on the borders of a couple of precincts, and they figure, hey, we're in a quote safe area and no officer is going to come bug us. And I think it's going to take a joint effort of all the precinct officers, public affairs officers, whatever, to work together to stop this music playing. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we've had car meetups a lot that really has affected multiple precincts where we would chase them out of one precinct they'll go to another precinct, and then that precinct chase them out to another precinct. We are in contact with other commands. Sometimes it's from borough to borough. But if you do have a certain area, please let me know, or you can definitely let our NCOs know, and we'll focus in on the enforcement for those areas, especially if it's something that is happening daily or even weekly. So just let us know. Just letting us know is the main thing, and we'll definitely address when we can, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, and building a relationship with your NCOs is very, at least in my experience, all sectors have been very responsive. But if there's anything that we can assist with, please feel free to reach out to the office. Officer, can you please put your contact information in the chat? We've already exceeded our time for the public session, so I have to move this along. Anyone else, please contact. I said I would only take 3 questions. Speed this along. Officer Echeverria is very accessible all the time. We're going to move on with Congressman Richie Torres's office. I'll share that we're excited to have him back in the new congressional lines. The congressman covers more of Community Board 7, and we have Ron Jordan on with us. Ron?
Good evening, everyone. It's good to be back in CB7. I see a lot of familiar faces on the chat here. I put all my information in the chat, but just wanted to let you know that if there's any issues around the Postal Service, the IRS, Social Security, Veterans Affairs, immigration, feel free to contact our office. We'll be able to help you. Our office hours are from 10 to 4, Monday through Friday, but we do require people to get an appointment and come in and wear masks, and please be vaxxed or boosted. Thank you all, and I'll talk to you soon. I'll be here if anybody has any questions.
Thank you, Ron, and welcome back. We've been joined by Councilmember Pierina Sanchez. Welcome.
Hello. Is this my turn?
Yes.
All right. Well, hi, everybody. Councilmember Pierina Sanchez. It's great to see you. I'm glad that you are gaining some of Congressman Richie Torres, but I am losing some of Congressman Richie Torres in the 14th district. So I'm a little sad about that. But anyway, I have a couple of things that I wanted to share. First and foremost, Chad has a question for Ron, if we want to do that real quick.
They can ask me in the chat, and I'll answer directly through the chat.
Okay, perfect.
Yes,
right.
and also if you could share your information in the chat, Ron, that'd be great. Councilmember, please.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I hope y'all noticed that I let my hair down for y'all. Okay. Doesn't happen very often. I'm playing. No, but in all seriousness, I first want to thank everybody who was able to come and join me for my inauguration ceremony on Sunday. It was really cold, but it was really nice. The 5-2 was there. The 4-6 was there. Well, thank you. I appreciate that person in the chat. It was a really nice, full circle event, and I just want to thank anybody who was able to attend or to watch virtually. It was streamed on BronxNet as well. So a couple of general updates. Most importantly for you all, I want to extend an invitation to you all for Thursday evening at 7 p.m. I think it was last month at the Housing or maybe the Land Use Committee meeting that you all, and by the way, also myself and Serimar, who is our CB7 rep in the office, we all learned together about a stabilization bed conversion at University Avenue. So there have been just a lot of questions and a lot of miscommunications and misconceptions and, things to sort of clear up about that stabilization bed site. I've had several opportunities now to connect with DSS and Department of Homeless Services about the site. I actually, because I just do this, I walked over and I visited the site myself, and I met some of the residents myself, and actually I'd been there before when I was knocking all of the doors last year during the campaign. So I just want to open up an opportunity for us to talk about that shelter site, that stabilization site in particular, but also, just answer any questions writ large. So We will have Department of Homeless Services there. We will have Acacia Network, who is the provider there. You all are, of course, invited. The Fordham Hill Owners, Cedar Avenue Block Association has been invited. NYPD has been invited. Officer Echevarria, I hope you can make it. And it's just an opportunity for us to talk, right? It's just important for us to have those kind of spaces. So that'll be Thursday at 7. I also wanted to follow up from a conversation that we started to have at the last community board meeting when I shared some updates on the Kingsbridge Armory. So regarding the Kingsbridge Armory, I shared last time that I was here that, we were going to have to start as a community from sort of kind of ground, like step zero with the Armory and its development. And I wanted to update you and sort of clarify something very important, right? Because I know that a lot of folks are like, let's go, let's move, that's where I am too. But the Armory is still caught up in litigation. It's really important for you all to know that. I've already called the president of the Economic Development Corporation in the city. I have sitting down with the mayor. I'm gonna, invite them to come out and tour the Armory with us. And I'll work with Aisha and Barbara to see, some reps from CB7 can join us and things like that. So we're moving, but there's just a process here that we need to follow. And it's just going to be very important for us to do this together. So I want you to know you have my full 100% commitment. Pierina Sanchez, city council member, duly elected to represent the 14th district, including the Armory. You are my main stakeholders. CB7 is so important in this process of redeveloping the Kingsbridge Armory. You will have a seat at the table. You will be the first to know when there is anything going on there.
Phoenix,
but I do want to make sure. I do want to make sure that you know that it's still caught up in litigation. And as soon as we can start a process, we will. And I just want to illuminate some of that for you because it's a little bit, it's like arcane and there's all these processes and rules and laws and things, right? So as I said last time, the Kingsbridge Armory is it's publicly owned. It's a historic landmark. It is owned by the New York City Economic Development Corporation. Anytime that a city agency owns a plot of land, they cannot just give that land and that property away. Be like, I like you, so you got it. Cannot do that. It's not the way it works. There has to be a process. It's a process that makes sure that you have input as the community board, that the BP has input, et cetera. There's going to be a ULURP, right? And then even in the lead up to that ULURP, right? It's going to take a while for us to get to that ULURP. We have to figure out what exactly we are going to do and who is going to do it, right? So as this litigation sort of cloud hopefully lifts, and I'm praying and hoping, and please join me in praying and hoping, because that is the Kingsbridge Armory is the one thing that I definitely, want to work with you all on to really see it done. But as soon as the litigation hold is able to lift, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to gather the community together and we're going to figure out what we want to see there. Okay, that's step one. Step two, EDC, which was going to be listening the whole time, is going to write that down and is going to put it out into the world. This is what community board 7 wants. This is what the community around Kingsbridge wants. Come and give us your proposals, right? That's step two. Step one is community input. Step two is the RFP, the request for proposals. And step three is we're going to select the recipient. We're going to select who is actually going to get the parcel. Okay, we're going to select who is going to be able to develop. And then once that selection is made, like I said, and as you all know as community board members, because you have to deal with this all the time, we can't just hand it over because we like someone. It has to go through the ULURP. So even after an RFP is selected and a developer is selected, we still have to go through ULURP. You have to have your hearings. I have to have my hearings. The PP has to have her hearings, etc. So we're talking about a process, right? And we're talking about, a couple of different steps, but we're not starting from ground zero. We've been at this for a long time, ever since I was a little chiquitica, and there were the community elders, who have been fighting for a long time to redevelop this. But you have my full commitment. You guys will be central and you'll have a seat at the table, and we're gonna work and we're gonna give it everything we can to get it done. Okay, I'm an urban planner. This is what I did in my previous jobs is walk complex projects like this through the process. And so I am gonna be committed, right? I am committed to working with you on that. And I just wanted to provide that update because I do know that some folks are like, what's going on? What's going on? It's still in litigation, right? So let's give it that time. You'll be the first to know. And if you don't know and you're wondering, give us a call. I'll let you know. And Aisha knows where to find me. And you all know that I'm here and I'm accessible. But please bear with us as we go through this. We're gonna get it done. If there was ever a team that can get it done, it is this version of the community board. It is this council member, it's this administration, and this member of Congress and everyone else, right? We have a solid group of folks, who are committed to this. And I want to thank you in advance for the work I know that you will do on that. Okay.
Marina, can I ask you a question relating to the Armory? We talked about the idea of forming an ad hoc committee from Community Board 7.
Sure.
Is it too early to do that?
I do think it's a little early to do that, but I would say that I would love to be in touch with you, Barbara, and with the community board leadership to help structure that, because what I definitely want to make sure is that I'm not going to come in and I'm not going to tell you what to do with the Armory, right? And another group in the community is not going to come in and going to tell us what to do. We need to do that together. Right. And we're not going to be on the same page and everybody's going to have different thoughts, but we're going to have conversations about this. So if CB7 wants to have a sort of internal process where you're doing that, by all means, no problem at all. But I do want you to know that I intend to, with Congressmember Espaillat, with State Senator Gustavo Rivera, I intend to form a stakeholder committee who's going to help us run town halls and do outreach and really hopefully I'm also I'm lobbying the city for some funds so that we can have a technical assistance provider, right, to actually set meetings and set agendas and make sure that everybody gets the invites and all of this work that is good. It's extra work on top of everything Aisha already does and the staff at CB7 already does, right? So I would say, I'm never one to stop conversation. If you all want to have an internal piece, that's for you all to decide. But please do be prepared to have CB7 participate in this broader effort. That's
stakeholders, right? Thank you.
Exactly. Okay. And then last but not least, and then I'm happy to take and answer any questions. But last but not least, wanted to know, I think my favorite neighbor, don't tell my other neighbors, but Councilmember Dinowitz mentioned that we are having budget meetings. I am the chair of the Committee on Housing and Buildings. My committee meeting was 7 hours. It was a long discussion. But I think the major takeaway from the Housing Committee is that the administration, the mayor does not yet have a housing plan. They do not have housing investments reflected in the budget as it stands. And so we at the council are pushing really hard to make sure that there is a housing plan, that we continue to promote and protect affordable housing, that we are creating homeownership opportunities, all of these things that we need to do in the housing space, that we do that. And so we're all having all of our budget meetings, and there's a billion of them, but we're active in them. I'm on 9 committees myself, and we're active and we're fighting for our districts. So with that, I'm sorry, it was a little bit long-winded, but I wanted to get the Kingsbridge stuff out to you all, and here to answer any questions and listen.
Thank you.
We have one question, Jean.
Just a quick question. So everyone who had been attached to it from before, we're starting at ground zero and you're putting together a whole new thing. So all of the people and the stakeholders who were attached to the project from 100 years from before, they are no longer going to be attached to it. You're going to start all over again.
I hope that you all remain attached to it. We need you. We need your wisdom. We need all of the learnings, what worked from before, what didn't work. But the reality is that the Kingsbridge National Ice Center, that developer, they couldn't pull it together, and so we have to find someone else to pull something together for real. And I am completely going to be dependent on those of you, who have been here and fighting for this for such a long time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I do want to make a comment. I turned off the direct person-to-person contact. There's been some inappropriate behavior reported. If we get a report again, we will remove you. So I just want to make that clear. The code of conduct was read at the beginning of this meeting. It is not appropriate to contact another person in this room with inappropriate comments. Thank you, Councilmember. Sorry.
No problem.
On that note, do we have anyone here from Congressman Espaillat's office? Okay, do we have any, we don't have anyone here from Senator Biagi's office. However, conveniently so, Carla, can you drop in the chat some of the bills she introduced that just passed, please, that involve sexual harassment? Very appropriate at this time. Thank you. We're gonna move on. Anyone from Senator Bailey's office? Rachel, are you here from Senator Gustavo Rivera's office?
Yes, ma'am. Y'all see me and my lovely landline behind me that I'm so proud of. All right, hey everyone, I'm Rachel Ferrari. I'm from State Senator Gustavo Rivera's office. I'm gonna give a legislative update because we are deep in budget negotiations, but I just want to start off saying thank you to Councilmember Sanchez. I think she gave a brilliant and very thorough update of what's going on with the Armory. You may know Senator Rivera was fighting for that community benefits agreement to be realized at the Kingsbridge Ice Center, but I don't want to repeat anything she said because she really nailed it down. We're going to need to do this together, and we're all very invested in making this Armory work for everyone. So thank you, Councilmember Sanchez, truly. The senator is in Albany right now for session, and we have less than 2 weeks until the New York State budget is due on April 1st. So he is fighting for a few things that he was very proud landed in the Senate's One House budget resolution. You may know the governor puts out her budget proposal. The Senate and Assembly each put out their own proposals, lovingly referred to as one houses. And then we go into three ways. That's where we're at right now. Three-way negotiations for all the things we need in the great state of New York. The Senate's One House budget resolution included a number of bills that the senator, as well as initiatives that the senator fights for, including $1 billion in assistance for financially distressed or safety net hospitals. We love St. Barnabas Hospital in our district. We're fighting to make sure they're whole, as well as expanding the essential plan to cover uninsured individuals under 250% of the federal poverty level, which is known as coverage for all. We're pushing for the Fair Pay for Home Care Act, Senator Rachel May's bill, which would raise minimum wage for all home care workers to 150% of the minimum wage for that critical workforce. We also want to repeal the Medicaid global cap. It's a longer conversation than I have time for right now, but you can feel free to email me. While we fight for coverage for all to land in the budget, we really want that bill to land in the budget to cover everyone in the state of New York. This is groundwork for the senator's two other priorities as it relates to his role as the chair of the Health Committee in the Senate. We're also fighting for a package of bills that would end medical debt. I know some members of Community Board 7 have had some frustrations with facilities fees. One of our bills would address ending facilities fees as a surprise, as well as stopping medical debt from being grounds to put a lien on your home or garnish your wages. Medical debt should not financially bankrupt New Yorkers when you get sick. That's not okay. So we're going to end medical debt. We're also going to pass the New York Health Act, which would create a single payer universal healthcare system with no premiums, no copays, no out-of-pocket costs, no deductibles, no out-of-network surprises. We need healthcare for all because everybody gets sick and no one should face financial ruin simply because they get sick like any human. Also today, the senator moved his bill to create a right to a commercial lease in the city of New York. So your favorite mom and pop can have that right to a lease from their commercial property owner, their landlord. That moved through the city's committee. We're really looking forward to passing that through both houses and making a right to a commercial lease in the city of New York law. I'm going to drop our phone number and my email in the chat, and I'm happy to take questions if we have time, but I'll provide my email if you want to have a longer conversation. Thank you guys so much.
I think it'd be great. I'm sure Michelle will be happy to host you before June to talk about some of those health bills that did pass. I think the community would benefit from having an extensive conversation around that. And it's convenient that we have the senator who chairs the health committee here in CB7.
I appreciate that. Michelle, I'm going to email you if that works. Yeah. I know we're in touch.
All right, awesome. Do you have anyone here from Assemblymember Fernandez's office?
Yes, hello. Hi, it's me, Steven, from Assemblymember Fernandez's office. I'll be very quick. So really the only update that we have is that if you or anyone that you know haven't done their taxes as of yet, our office are providing free tax services. So pretty much the appointments have to be made over the phone or online. We take the tax appointments on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. You can bring any tax document that you want, whether that be a W-2, a 1199, pension, anything related, and we can be able to pretty much help you do those taxes. And you know, our office is located at 2018 Williamsbridge Road, and our number is 718-409-0109, and I will definitely leave all my information on the chat. That's it.
Thank you. Is anyone here from Assemblymember Jeff Denowitz's office? Nat, are you on? Okay. Is there anyone here from Assemblyman Jose Rivera's office? Anyone here from, yes, you are, Assemblywoman Judel Catapia, Leon?
Okay. Hi, good evening, everyone. So the only update that I have is just a follow-up. As I mentioned at last month's meeting, the Assemblymember held an open house event on February 24th. So first of all, on behalf of the Assemblymember, she just wants to thank those who were able to attend the open house. And we had like a really good turnout. So it was an opportunity for the community to see the work that we do for the community. And we had a lot of people. So that's a good thing. Other than that, just to reiterate, our office is open to assist you with any state-related issues, such as if you have a problem with your ERAP application, or if you have a problem with your unemployment benefits. Definitely feel free to reach out to us. I'll post my contact information in the chat, but just to let everyone know, our office number is 718-933-6909. Once again, it's 718-933-6909. And again, I'll post my email address in the chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leon. And is there anyone here from Councilmember Oswald Felice's office? Okay, and we are done with electeds. We're gonna move on to those who are signed up for the public session. We have Grow NYC. Courtney is the compost coordinator. Betty, you're gonna love to hear this. Courtney?
Hi, thank you so much for having us. I'll be speaking about Norwood Farm Stand and Compost Site specifically. And then once I'm done, I'll copy and paste information about our programming in the chat. But we would like to work with Bronx Community Board 7 in promoting food access and sustainability. So our program offers a farm stand, which allows people to use benefits such as EBT and WIC to buy locally grown produce in the region. So bread, honey, fruits, and vegetables. And then at the end of the food cycle, once they've used it, they can bring their food scraps to compost them from 9 to 2 every Thursday. Our compost program allows people to have control of their sustainability, diverting food waste from landfill and keeping food scraps out of their garbage will reduce pests, reduce other problems they might have with that, reduce the amount of waste they're sending to landfill. And then with that, we give them soil back. We have a soil give back coming in, I think, a month or so. We'll be giving back compost for people who are interested in using it for their gardens and for, their other projects, their houseplants, just like little 2-pound bags for everyone that is a participant in the programs. And then our goal is to conduct in-person outreach, environmental and also community-based events, because we are at both ends of food access. So we're interested in expanding our network and being in contact with everyone here, just so we can have a stronger connection to the community, and then and hopefully increase our food scrap donations, because there are some concerns about the limiting budget right now for compost. So we'd like to show that it is meaningful to communities to have this resource.
That's great. Courtney, perhaps maybe you could come to one of my committee meetings. Next meeting is April 5th. Give just a brief summary of the services. If you can do that.
Yes,
I'll send you the
absolutely.
information. Yeah, we'll make it real quick. I know we are trying to get as many people to sign up for compost collection. It's going to be a big challenge in our particular community board for many different reasons. So any advice, any help, and this is an alternative to that. So this is very helpful. So I'll definitely have Aisha, if you could provide Courtney's
Absolutely.
information or invite her to our meeting. Okay.
Absolutely. That's why I said you would like this.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Courtney.
All right, great. Thank you, Courtney. Anything else you wanted to share? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, just thank you so much. Yeah, I think we're positioned in, as opposed to sites that have always had compost throughout COVID and Manhattan and Brooklyn, we're in a position where we're asking them to restart this habit, asking people to do this thing for us. And we're committed, even if no one brings their food scraps during the day, we're doing outreach. And so we definitely continue with this commitment and dedication, even if no one, no one's yet realizing it and it's slow to start. So we're definitely really motivated.
Well, thank you. And feel free to share anything in the chat. All right, next we have Serial.
Thank you very much. I want to express my greatest thank you to the community board who moved forward, and in response to my deteriorating condition of 204th and Bainbridge. I want to thank the district manager for initiating a lot of solving a lot of the problems along Bainbridge and 204th Street. Each committee member, the NYPD for stepping in, and also sanitation. They came in within less than a week. They solved 90% of the problems that I had mentioned in my email, and I want to thank everyone for that. Except for the fact that only Golden Produce at 364 East 204th Street is still in very big violation. Not only do they taken over more than 3/4 of the sidewalk in front of the store, they now have water bottles across from their store. So there's only a little path where the tree pit is that people cannot walk by 2 at a time. And if you have a baby carriage or a wheelchair or 2 people with shopping carts, they cannot get by in front of that store. And it's a very shame that a merchant in the community would do that to the people who have to go and spend their money there. Therefore, I do not spend my money there and I boycott them. But once again, I want to thank you for all of the help that took place within that 1 week of removing so many obstacles along 204th and Bainbridge. And hopefully we'll be able to move on to another section of the Bronx, Kingsbridge Road. Thank you.
Thank you, Serial. What is it? There's a saying for teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? So we appreciate you and thank you for recognizing the help. Next we have Sarah from Williamsbridge Oval Park Rec Center. Sorry.
Hi, thanks for letting me speak. So I just wanted to let everyone know again, we have our spring egg hunt on Saturday, April 16th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We are still looking for if people want a table. We are very grateful. We have Community Board 7, Senator Bailey's office, and Montefiore and some other organizations helping us out with the event. Also, the rec center is doing a free program again. We are open, no vaccinations required. And I just wanted to touch base. It's not my forte, but St. James Rec Center, I know there is concern, but I did speak to the chief of recreation, and they are going to be bringing back some spin bike programs outside in the summer. And they do have someone set there to do programming for kids outside also during the summer. So it's still in the works, but recreation hasn't forgot about St. James due to the closing and construction.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. I definitely want to touch on that in the report as well and on my report. That's it. Last but not, actually I have 2 more. James Duarte.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Courtney, I will be bringing you my food scraps
So thank you for that. Apologies if this has been discussed at a previous meeting, but I just wanted to raise the issue today. As you may or may not know, Revel, the electric moped sharing company, has suspended its service in the entire borough of the Bronx because a significant amount of device parts were being stolen. Unconfirmed reports suggest it was primarily moped batteries. In a December 26, 2021 statement, the company spokesman said that they were exploring ways to address the issue and hope to resume service in the future. And the CEO had said the demand was off the charts when the company expanded its Bronx fleet in June 2020, which was an effort announced in conjunction with City Councilman Rafael Salamanca. In a district where more public transportation alternatives are desperately needed, I think it's imperative to restore service to the Bronx and not punish an entire borough, and reinforcing the negative stereotype that the Bronx can't have nice things. I'm wondering if anyone from Revel has reached out to the community board or any elected official offices to address the issue or discuss a plan to restore the service. And if not, how can the community board remain committed to working with Revel, city officials, and community stakeholders on how we can safely restore service for the thousands of riders who rely on this service daily? And I'll be happy to share the article of the Bronx that the Bronx Times wrote for anyone who may be curious. Thank you.
Thank you. Revel has not reached out to us. I will, however, defer to our traffic and transportation chair. James, if you could share that link with us. Edgar, I'm not sure if you're on. Edgar, are you on? Okay, so we'll make sure that Edgar gets this information, and the next transportation meeting is the first Thursday of the month. I believe that is the 6th, right? Yeah, the 6th. But yeah, if you could send that to me, I'll definitely connect you with the chair. Thank you.
Sure.
All right, last but not least, we have AJ, and with that, Madam Chairperson, we wrap up.
Hello. I have sent a few emails and complaints over to CV7, but never heard back. It's been a few months now, and I would like some kind of follow-up on them and the public information I've requested. Thank you.
Okay. All right. We'll move the meeting on now. The public session is closed, and from here on in, only community board members may speak. Everyone else, however, is welcome to stay and listen. We'll move to the district managers' updates. Aisha, are you ready?
Barbara, we still have to do attendance and everything else.
Well, we have that after our remarks.
Oh, it's after mine? Oh.
Yeah, after yours and mine.
Sorry, COVID brain, sorry.
Okay.
So sorry. Okay, so my report, it was shared in the chat, part of the package. The meeting has gone really long, so I'll just briefly skim through this. There's been some changes with the Taxi Limousine Commission and proposing amendments to rules that would create a taxi flat rate of $39 for trips between LaGuardia Airport, Manhattan, south of West 110th Street. You can get more information on that. But I will share that there will be a public hearing on this April 5th at 10 a.m. If you wish to attend, all you have to do is click on my report and you will see everything outlined for you, or just email me directly. I'd be happy to share that information. This is something that's going to be brought up later, but reiteration is important. As you know, for years now, the Yankees has partnered up with community boards to issue scholarships to 5 recipients. Unfortunately, we have yet to receive our full 5, so we're encouraging everyone to still apply. We have a hard deadline of April 4th by noon, at which point April 5th, that education committee will meet and make a final decision of the applicants based on the criteria. You do have to live within CB7. I'll let the rest of that be shared by the chair. Give me one second. Domestic worker updates as of March 12th, new employment protection for all domestic workers. Include cleaners, nannies, landscaper, and anyone who hires them is liable as an employer. Again, you can click and get more information on my reports. Mobile car washes has been a topic of discussion at this board for quite some time. I believe that the executive board will be inviting a DCAS and a DOT to discuss what's legal, what's not legal, and what can be done about those that are leaving garbage residue behind, the use of the hydrants, and so forth. Those have been the reports and complaints. I'll quickly share that a car wash operator must apply for a car wash license if its business cleans vehicles, including washing, detailing, drying, polishing, vacuuming, or other cosmetic care for vehicles, either at a fixed location or part of a mobile, on-demand, or pop-up service. There are some exceptions to that rules. You can read that. I also have on part of my report some do's and don'ts for car washes, and that is the illegal use. One of them that stands out is the illegal use of hydrants. However, there is a process to apply to receive a permit from DEP to use a hydrant. I encourage you to, again, read my report and go through these links that I have shared. But if you're more interested in that topic, feel free to join the executive committee. That will be on, Barbara, what is that, April 19th, the next?
21st.
April 21st is our next executive meeting. This will be an opportunity to get your concerns addressed as it relates to car wash. There's also new legislation regarding online third-party food delivery services, which is all the delivery apps like Grubhub and so forth. Industry, making sure that there are legal workplace protection for these workers. I list out some of those protections. I'll quickly share that they must tell the worker what the customer tips them for each delivery, must also tell them the total pay from the previous day, must itemize everything along with many other things, but as you know, has been predatory, unfortunately, in the past. So now the city has introduced legislation to protect them a lot better. CB7 potholes, been getting a lot of calls about that. As you know, every time there's a snowstorm, the salt, the deterioration of the streets do happen. So DOT, March is actually their paving season, where they go around, they have a crew that's called a recovery crew, and they send to review the streets based on 301 complaints or complaints shared by folks like us. So if you filed a 301 complaint because there's a pothole, deteriorating conditions in your community, please feel free to reach out to us so we can flag it for DOT as they continue to their road of recovery after our snowstorm. Gun Hill Road, DOT put together a Gun Hill Road Community Advisory Board to focus on the changes around the bus priority and pedestrian safety project that will cover Gun Hill between Bainbridge and Bartow Avenue, which covers several community boards. Implementation for this project will take place mid to late 2022. In my report, you can also see there's a link from the latest presentation, but they will be coming to the Traffic and Transportation Committee this upcoming Thursday to do a full presentation. So if you've been upset or annoyed about the severe traffic congestion, especially during rush hour in these areas, this is an opportunity to voice your concerns. Youth employment, the deadline is April 22nd. There's been a dramatic increase, the highest has ever been across the city. So we want to encourage our youth to apply. Also renewing your ID NYC, you can actually do that online now. So that's a good thing. You can also, all these links are available in my report, so you can totally help yourself or you can reach out to me. I do want to bring up something that's been a topic for some time now. It's obviously the Kingsbridge underpass, overpass, the abundance of needles, and just the quality of life issues there. I will share some facts that I think are important to share here that we've received from the Department of Health. I have been in conversation with Councilmember Felice about this, and obviously, and the senator. So we'll get back to you as some things progress there. But I would like to share some facts. And when I make reference to SSP, that means safe. Oh my gosh, I forgot what it stands for. All right, Syringe Service Program, sorry, if I use the acronym SSPs. There are no specific restrictions about where SSPs can operate. All SSPs are authorized by the New York State Department of Health and overseen by the New York State and City Department of Health. Further, the New York State Department of Health approves and authorizes specific locations and hours for the syringe programs and means of distribution. SSPs must go through an extensive waiver application process before opening a new site. After a waiver has been granted, programs are subject to strict monitoring and reporting requirements. SSP this is the response from Department of Health. saying that they play a critical role promoting community health and safety. SSP are critical to reducing syringe litter because they provide people who inject drugs and a place to safely dispose the used syringes. I will also share that mobile syringe service programs cannot distribute syringes or other services outside of pre-approved locations and serve individuals who cannot travel to a physical SSP location. We will be having this conversation, ongoing conversation. I know that this is something that is of great concern, considering that there's been so many needles disposed around a park and a school. But I do want to share that Community Board 7 is on it. We are having conversations and we're hoping to mitigate this issue as fast as possible. This Friday at 2 o'clock, we'll be joining Assemblymember Natalia Fernandez, Senator Jamal Bailey, Councilmember Eric Dinowitz, and Common Pantry to host a food giveaway. So join us until supplies last at 2 p.m. That is on East 204th Street and Hull Avenue, again at 2 p.m. this Friday. This has been brought up several times here in the conversation, St. James Park. We have been in conversation with the Department of Parks as well as with the council member. We are aware that the agency has requested funding from FEMA to make repairs, but due to the extensive flooding because of the storm, the center HVAC system has been completely destroyed. And in order to reopen the center, it needs to be replaced, and that is through a capital project. They have put in something called an emergency declaration to expedite this capital project for the funding. Expedite the procurement process, I would say. And if approved, obviously hoping that it will, securing the funding will do much needed repairs. And Parks Department believes that they have a strong case to get this emergency declaration. So I want to make sure that folks know that we are on it. We are trying to get the information. We're working with the powers to be to ensure that funding is secured here. I'm sure you've seen the paper. We have had a relocation of a medical marijuana facility over to Community Board 7 at 25-27 West Fordham Road. In my report, you will find a fact sheet. They will be attending our executive committee meeting on April 21st, and this conversation will be led by our health committee chair. So I encourage you all, if you live around there and have questions about this medical marijuana facility, to submit them via email so we can make sure that they're answered before they attend April 21st. Remote meetings, I think we're all aware, has been extended, hence why we're still here, has been extended to April 15th. We are exploring potential locations, but possibly at Lehman or Monroe. So stay tuned if it's not extended. I have included in my report some links that will help give clarity to residents that are concerned when they see demolitions or buildings being erected. There are 2 links in my report that can kind of help you, I guess, understand what's going on. And if you can't, by all means, you can reach out to me and I'd be happy to walk you through how to read some of those certifications so you can actually know what's going on right next to where you live. I think we should definitely empower all of our residents to be in the know when it comes to these things. That was it for me, Barbara. I think the board has heard enough from me today.
All right, next is chairperson's remarks. I would just like to say that I found out yesterday that I became the interim chairperson of this board. I will do my best to move us ahead during the next few months. I ask for everybody's cooperation. If you have any concerns regarding your committee or anything on the board, please feel free to contact me. Okay, we'll move on to attendance, our roll call by our secretary. Yahira? We can't hear you. Yahira, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Sorry, I was on my earphones and I don't think it was working.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. Leuris Acosta,
Leuris Acosta present.
can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yes, now we can.
Okay, sorry about that. Technical difficulties here. Okay, attendance for March 22nd, 2022, 32222. Leuris Acosta,
Leuris Acosta present.
Tasha Andrews, Betty Arce,
Betty Arce present.
Jahir Arias present, Emanuela Samoa,
Manuela Samoa present.
thank you. Eric Asensio,
Eric Asensio present.
Michelle Avila,
Michelle Avila present.
thank you. Myrna Calderon, Myrna Calderon, Ruth Caraballo,
Ruth Caraballo present.
thank you. Manjur Shahuri,
Manjur Chaudhary present.
thank you. Sandra Erickson,
Sandra Erickson present.
thank you. Nora Fury,
Nora Fury present.
thank you. Untwing Five,
Untween Five present.
thank you. Hugo Gonzalez,
Hugo Gonzalez present.
thank you. Michelle Gonzalez, Alfred Grant,
Alfred Grant present.
thank you. Lowell Green,
Lowell Green is present.
thank you. Danielle Herbert Guggenheim, Danielle Herbert Guggenheim, Helene Hartman Kanowski,
Helene Hartman Kadnowski present.
thank you. Jean Hill,
Dean Hill present.
thank you. Mabubur Jewel,
Mabubu Joel present.
thank you. Andrew Leosa,
Andrew Leosa present.
thank you. Rosalie Leslie,
Rosalie Leslie present.
thank you. Emmanuel Martinez is on leave, as we know. Jenny Medina, Jenny Medina. Amira Mustafa is on leave. Daisy Perry, Daisy Perry. Jamar Quintana, Jamar Quintana. Edgar Ramos, Edgar Ramos. Helene Ray was excused. Janelle Robinson, Chad Royer,
Chad Royer present.
thank you. Victor Saldana,
Victor Saldana present.
thank you. Maharani Subajan, Maharani Subajan. Samantha Suvatis,
Samantha Suvatis is present.
thank you. Barbara Stronzer,
Barbara Stronzer is present.
thank you. Gwendolyn Thomas Steed, Gwendolyn Thomas Steed. Adeline Walker Santiago,
Adeline Walker Santiago present.
thank you. Helene Wilson, Helene Wilson. Okay, give me 1 second. You have quorum.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're
We'll
welcome.
move on to approval of the minutes from last month's meeting. All right, I'll scroll through them.
Daisy Perry present.
Thank you, Daisy. I'll mark you now.
Okay. All right. Okay, move on through the public session.
I see one, cereal's misspelled.
Where's that?
No, I'm during the public session. Go up, down, sorry.
Down.
No, it's up. I know where
It's
it
up,
is.
sorry.
I'll make the correction. Sorry, I saw it.
Okay, you'll make that correction.
Yeah, make the
Very
Yeah, and
good. Thank you. Go ahead.
Adeline's name too. It's ADA.
Okay, that's 2. And then we have the reports from each committee. All right, do we have any other comments on the minutes from last month's meeting? Do I have a motion to accept them as presented with the 2 changes that were noted?
I move to approve the minutes.
Thank you. Do we have it? Thank you. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Good. All right. We'll move on then to our motions. We'll start with Andrew.
Okay, now what did I do with them?
I believe you have 2. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Andrew. We hear you.
Okay. Motion to notify board member Michelle Gonzalez that a review of the attendance records indicates that they are in violation of the attendance requirements of Bronx Community Board 7 and Article 3, Section 4 of the bylaws.
Do we have a second for that motion?
Michelle Avila seconds.
Thank you. All right. Any comments, questions? All right, I believe we can take a vote on that. Yahira?
Leorisa Costa,
Teresa Costa, approve.
Tasha Andrews, Betty Arce,
Betty Arce approves.
Yahira Arias approved. Emanuela Samoa,
Manuel Samoa approve.
thank you. Eric Asensio,
Eric Asensio approves.
Michelle Avila,
Michelle Avila approves.
thank you. Myrna Calderon, Ruth Caraballo,
Ruth Caraballo approves.
thank you. Manjur Shahuri,
Monjur Chaudhary approve.
thank you. Sandra Erickson,
Sandra Erickson approves.
thank you. Nora Fury,
Nora Fury approves.
thank you. On 25,
On 25 approves.
thank you. Hugo Gonzalez, sorry, Michelle Gonzalez. Hugo Gonzalez,
Hugo Gonzalez approves.
thank you. Alfred Grant,
Alfred Grant approves.
thank you. Lowell Green,
Lowell Green approves.
thank you. Danielle Herbert Guggenheim, Helene Hartman Kanowski,
Helene Hartman Kanowski approves.
thank you. Jean Hill,
Jean Hill approves.
thank you. Mabubur Jewel, Andrew Leosa,
Andrew Leosa approves.
Mabubu Joel approve.
thank you. Rosalie Leslie,
Rosalie Leslie approves.
thank you. Jenny Medina, Daisy Perry.
Daisy Perry approves.
Thank you. Jamar Quintana. Edgar Ramos. Helene Red. Oh, she's excused, sorry. Janelle Robinson. Chad Royer.
Chad Royer approves.
Thank you. Victor Saldana.
Victor Saldana approves.
Thank you. Maharani Subajan. Samantha Suvatis.
Samantha Suvatis approves.
Thank you. Barbara Stronser.
Barbara Stronser approves.
Thank you. Gwendolyn Thomas Steed. Adeline Walker Santiago.
Adeline Walker Santiago approves.
Thank you. Helene Wilson. Motion passes.
Thank you. All right, Andrew, you had a second motion?
Motion to notify board member Jamar Quintano that a review of the attendance records indicates that they are in violation of the attendance requirements of Bronx Community Board 7 and Article 3, Section 4 of the bylaws.
Do we have a second to that motion?
I second, Jahira.
Thank you. Any discussion, comments? All right, Jahira, we're ready for the roll call.
Leuris Acosta.
Leuris Acosta approve.
Sasha Andrews. Betty Arce.
Betty Arce approves.
Thank you. Jahira Arias approves. Emanuela Samoa.
Manuel Samoa approve.
Thank you. Eric Asensio.
Eric Asensio approves.
Michelle Avila.
Michelle Avila approves.
Thank you. Myrna Calderon. Ruth Caraballo.
Ruth Caraballo approves.
Thank you. Manjur Shahuri.
Manjur Chaudhary approve.
Thank you. Sandra Erickson.
Sandra Erickson approves.
Thank you. Nora Fury.
Nora Fury approves.
Thank you. Twain Fife.
125 approves.
Thank you. Hugo Gonzalez.
Hugo Gonzalez approves.
Michelle Gonzalez. Alfred Grant.
Alfred Grant approves.
Thank you. Lowell Green.
Lowell Green approves.
Thank you. Danielle Herbert Guggenheim. Helene Hartman Kanowski.
Helene Hartman Katnowski approves.
Thank you. Jean Hill.
Jean Hill approves.
Thank you. Mabubur Jewel.
Mahmoud Joel approves.
Thank you. Andrew Leosa.
Andrew Leosa approves.
Thank you. Rosalie Leslie.
Rosalie Leslie approves.
Thank you. Jenny Medina. Daisy Perry.
Daisy Perry approves.
Thank you. Jomar Quintana. Edgar Ramos. Helene Red is excused. Janelle Robinson. Chad Royer.
Chad Royer approves.
Thank you. Victor Saldana.
Victor Saldana approves.
Thank you. Maharani Subajan. Samantha Suvatis.
Suvatis approves.
Thank you. Barbara Stronser.
Barbara Stronser approves.
Thank you. Gwendolyn Thomas Steed. Adeline Walker Santiago.
Adeline Walker Santiago approves.
Thank you. Helene Wilson. Motion passes.
Thank you very much. All right, we'll move on to the motion from Housing, Land Use, and Economic Development. Eric?
Hi, good evening, everyone. So our motion is for Bronx Community Board 7 to support the variance for a Saturday permit from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for 2520 Jerome Avenue, St. James Terrace.
All right, do we have a second?
Jahira seconds the motion.
Thank you. All right, do we have any questions or comments on Eric's motion? Chad?
Yeah, just a quick explanation if you have, what is the major impetus for changing the time period?
The contractor stated that adding 20 Saturdays of work will would shorten the schedule by 2 months, which will be a significant impact to the neighborhood. The committee believes that will lessen the burden that communities go through when new buildings are going up.
And does this take into consideration that the weather might slow down the work anyway? Like if it rains?
Well, they're looking to complete the superstructure. So the faster they complete the superstructure of the building, the faster they can start working indoors. So now that the weather's getting better, I'm sure they will have better time, but they will be able to speed up the process.
Thank
All right, any other questions? Alfred? Alfred Grant, I see your hand up.
Just want to know, are these workers represented by unionized labor?
I'm not aware of that.
All right. All right, any other comments, questions? All right, we'll move to a roll call vote on Eric's motion from housing.
Leuris Acosta,
Leuris Acosta approves.
Sasha Andrews, Betty Arce,
Betty Arce approves.
Jahira Arias approves, Emanuela Samoa, Eric Asensio.
Eric Asensio approves.
Thank you, Emmanuel.
Got you.
Michelle Avila,
Michelle Avila approves.
Myrna Calderon, Ruth Caraballo,
Ruth Caraballo approves.
thank you. Manjur Shahuri,
Manjur Chaudhary approve.
thank you. Sandra Erickson,
Sandra Erickson approves.
thank you. Nora Fury,
Nora Fury approves.
thank you. 125,
125 approved.
thank you. Hugo Gonzalez,
Hugo Gonzalez abstain.
thank you. Michelle Gonzalez, yeah. Alfred Grant,
Alfred Grant, I think I will abstain on this one too.
thank you. Lowell Green,
I abstain.
thank you. Danielle Herbert Guggenheim, Helene Harmon Kanowski,
Helene Hartman Kudnowski abstains.
Jean Hill,
Jean Hill approves.
thank you. Mabubur Jewel,
Approve.
thank you. Andrew Leosa,
Andrew Leosa approves.
Rosalie Leslie,
Rosalie Leslie abstains.
Daisy Perry,
Daisy Perry abstains.
Jamar Quintana, Edgar Ramos, General, I'm sorry, Helene Red is excused, General Robinson, Chad Royer,
Chad Roy abstains.
okay. Victor Saldaña,
Victor Saldaña approves.
okay. Maharani Subajan, Samantha Subatis,
Suvatis abstains.
Barbara Stronser,
Barbara Stronser approves.
Gwendolyn Thomas Steed, Adeline Walker Santiago.
Adeline Walker Santiago approves.
Thank you. Helene Wilson. Motion passes.
Okay.
Do the people that abstain want to be noted?
Lowell Green has no problem being noted.
Thank you.
Alfred Grant wants to be noted.
Thank you. Anyone else before I move on?
Hugo Gonzalez wants to be noted.
Thank you.
Chad Royer wants to be noted.
Thank you. Okay, motion passes.
Okay, thank you, Yahira. We'll move on to committee updates. I ask that you limit what you're going to share with us, since I'm sure everybody has a written report that was handed in. All right, we'll begin with education. Lurs?
Hello. I'm sorry, 1 second, my computer just froze. Can you see or hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and see you.
All right, great. Hello, everybody. I'm showing my face to show that I'm not so scary, because I want to invite anybody who is interested in education in any form or fashion to join us, either at our meeting or just connect with me. I'd love to learn from you and build the Education, Youth, and Library Committee. That's number one. Number two is, as Aisha mentioned, the New York Yankee Scholarship has been extended until April 17th. We are doing outreach and trying to fill those 5 slots. We want to take advantage of that. If you know anybody or any organization that might know somebody, reach out to me. We would love to, like I said, take advantage of that. Everything else is in our minutes, and hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on. Traffic and transportation. Edgar isn't here, but is there anybody from the committee who would like to report? All right, we'll move on to veterans then. Chad? Chad?
Sorry, my window was covering. So we had two main topics at our meeting. We had someone discuss the VA aid and attendance program, which is an opportunity for any veteran, either single, married, or a spouse of a veteran, to get financial aid if they are in need of home care. And there are separate allocations of funding which they can qualify. But also, there was a recent news where the VA Secretary of the United States shared some information of VA hospitals nationwide that would be subject to closure. Many veterans came to the meeting and expressed their concern and their disdain for the way that it was rolled out. We hope to get more information as the time goes on, where we could share with the community. We're asking if there are any electeds or representatives of electeds. Please weigh in as we get the information, because some of our constituents will be asking each and every one of you for your support in either halting the closing of the VAs or asking for a different outcome to the proposal. That's all I have for now.
Okay, thank you. Health and hospitals, Michelle?
Thanks, Barbara. Health and Human Services. So we met last Tuesday. We had a presentation from the New York City Department of Health on kratom, which is a substance that has been flagged to the community that's being sold in local smoke shops and CBD shops. And so a lot of the information that the New York City Department of Health shared during the meeting was information that we had previously been made aware of, and the full report is in the previous month's minutes. We did have the opportunity to ask if this substance in particular was being seen in high trends in New York City, and the Department of Health relayed that it is not. There's still relatively low numbers of folks going to the ERs because of an overdose associated with kratom. Where there are instances, it's about 1%. It's usually because there's another opioid substance involved. However, they are monitoring the substance as it can cause toxicity in numerous human body organs. And so we try to get a little bit of information about who's using kratom, the age demographic. Unfortunately, there's no local information, but they were able to share some national data. And it's about 0.8% or 2.1 million people across the United States have been using kratom, and the percentage is lower among adolescents aged 12 to 17, which was a concern that was flagged by the committee. They also indicated that there's still a lot of research that's preliminary and not a lot is known on kind of the side effects of kratom. They continue to monitor it, and that kratom does have some interactions with alcohol and psychoactive drugs and medications. And so it's certainly something that we will continue to monitor. We also had a presentation by the manager of health equity programs at Montefiore Health System, who presented on the community health needs assessment process. For Montefiore, she notified us that they're undergoing their community health assessment process for the 2022 to 2024 cycle. This is a requirement at the federal level under the Affordable Care Act. There are also state and city requirements as well. And a community health needs assessment is basically an assessment that identifies key health needs and issues in our community. So this survey is going to be shared to the public in mid-April, and they have asked for our assistance in encouraging community members to take the survey. All hospitals are going to be putting out the survey, and the surveys, to our understanding, is going to be the same. It'll be just different based on hospital. And they'll give us more details on that when the survey is released so that we're not having folks double counted. And in addition to providing demographic data, the survey also asks folks to list what are the top health concerns of the community. So that information is going to be really helpful to the committee as well. And the presenter agreed to come back and share the data findings after the data is complete. They use this information to create a community service plan, which essentially under the state, they pick 3 out of 5 priorities, health priorities that the hospital is going to decide to address, and they allocate resources. So for example, in the previous cycles, it's been like obesity prevention. So Montefiore will then commit to running so-and-so programs under that agenda. So this is a really important initiative. We are definitely looking forward to partnering with all of the hospitals in CB7 and sharing these surveys. And we will ask a member of the hospital to come to the next general board meeting to talk a little bit more about the survey. But again, really want to encourage folks, once you receive the link, to fill it out and encourage family and friends to do so as well. Our next meeting is on April 19th, and we look forward to seeing folks there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Michelle. Parks, I just have 3 points I would like to bring up. One being that we're not sure of staffing for the upcoming summer months. The mayor wants to cut $60 million from parks as of July 1st. Our parks certainly need all the staffing we can hold on to, and there was a big rally today down at City Hall by different parks groups to try to fight the cuts. Second item, we were very happy to hear tonight from Aisha that they're going to bring the rec person back to St. James Park. It has been an issue and a big concern of our committee. And lastly, we discussed the visiting session on Poe Park, which was held prior to our meeting. It was very well attended by the public, and the councilman is going to appropriate $3 million for the rehab of Poe Park. The next step will be that Parks will come back to our community board with a proposal and a preliminary scope. So we will invite the community in, of course, to see what that entails. Our next Parks meeting will be the second Wednesday of April at 6:30. Everybody is invited. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to housing, land use, and economic development. Eric, do you have anything you want to add?
Other than our next meeting is April 11, and we're working on Aisha to get the agenda started. And everybody's is welcome to join.
Okay, thank you. And we'll move on to environment sanitation. Betty?
We didn't have a meeting, Barbara. We'll be meeting
Okay.
on April 5th, and the agenda is being developed.
Okay.
We'll probably have Grow New York City and join us among some other presenters. And the meeting will be at 7 p.m.
Thank you. Public safety? Victor?
Hi, good evening. We did not have a meeting for the month of March, but we're looking forward to meeting in April 14th. We're currently building on the agenda, and we'll make sure to send out to the community the tentative agenda.
Thank you. Budget and personnel? Andrew? Andrew?
Basically, we reviewed the attendance records and we produced 2 motions that were passed this evening.
Okay, thank you. All right, I believe I covered everybody. All right, we'll move on then to questions, comments, anything that anybody would like to bring up at this point?
Barbara?
Yes?
It's Betty.
Okay.
Just briefly, I'm gonna put on my cat trapping hat. We're coming into what's called kitten season. A lot of cats are giving birth. As a matter of fact, the cat gave birth in my house last night. So we're seeing a lot of that. So I just want to reach out to people. If you're a feeder, if you know of cats that are being fed and you have some concerns, you can reach out to me. I'll put my my email in the chat, and I volunteer with Bronx Tales. So we do cat rescue. And like I said, we're trying to get as many cats spayed and neutered as possible. And if you do have a pet, please make sure that the animal is spayed or neutered, if at all possible. And I'll work with you to do that if you need help with that. So that's basically, my little piece on cat trapping. So.
All right, thank you. Anybody else out there would like to raise?
I do.
Yes, go ahead.
Do we have a master list where people can get food? Be it food pantries, feed programs?
Not that I know of. Michelle, would you know offhand? Since you cover human services?
I don't know of a master list. There is a website that you can type in your zip code and put in a key term like food, and it shows all of the available food pantries, for example, that are in your immediate vicinity. I can drop that link in the chat, but I don't know of a list that anyone is holding.
Okay, thank you.
Food NYC too, right? Is that the one you're talking about, Michelle? Food NYC?
I'm talking about My Bronx Impact, but
yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, I see another hand. Yahira?
Yeah, just Barbara, we welcome you as the interim chair. So thank you. We appreciate you.
Well, thank you. I'm going to need everybody's help, that's for sure.
We're here to help you. We'll make
Thank
it
you.
through.
All right, any other issues, comments, whatever? All right, do we have a motion to close the meeting? Or
Motion
next
to
meeting?
close the meeting.
Okay.
I will second.
We have a second then?
Second.
Third. All right, our next meeting will be April 26th. All right, did everybody approve that motion?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Good night. Take care.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much, Barbara. Bye.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Thanks, Barbara. Good night.
You're welcome. Good night.
Thanks, Barbara.
Congrats.
Good job.
Good night.
I can't find the end button. Oh, here it is. Nope, that's not it.